So let's get comfortable, straight back, nice frame of the body, and then finding relaxation around the frame. And coming to the breath, settling in on the breath and the present moment. Letting everything else go. And we can use the exhalation to let go of whatever has been pestering us in our minds, whatever's going on in our life at the moment. Releasing, relaxing, aligning. Bringing your attention to your third eye and beginning to look inward rather than using the two physical eyes that look outward. So bringing that usual energy of the two eyes that are now closed, bringing that energy to the third eye and turning it inward. Finding yourself, honoring yourself, connecting to self, self with a capital S. Self that is connected to all of us. And if the mind is busy today, then really focusing on the breath, using the breath as a bridge. Become so focused on the breath that the thoughts have no space because your awareness is fully on the breath. And if the mind isn't busy, then dropping into the gaps in between thoughts, in between breaths. Dropping into the wide open space that is available always. that is actually more you than the thoughts. Somebody that doesn't practice is consumed with thoughts and doesn't have any concept of the gaps in between them. And then as we begin our practice, we get used to the gaps. And those gaps then become wider and wider. And we experience more time in the gaps than we ever used to before. And then eventually in our practice, we spend more time in the gaps than in the thoughts. We find peace and connection in the space. We find joy and love in the space. And we realize that this is where we wish to be, rather than caught up in the loop of the thoughts and the stories. Do we want to live in love and joy and connection? Or do we want to be in the loop of our stories? The physical body is always the last point of call for our shifts. They happen first on an energetic level, on a spiritual level. And then on a mental level, the aha moment, when the brain clicks in to the spiritual and emotional shift. And only after that does that shift then translate into the physical form. So it's always last. The body is revealing and showing us the past. We've already moved on from where we are physically. The physical body is always a representation of what has already happened. So not getting caught up in the body, in what we see in the mirror, in what the physical body is showing us, pain, discomfort, whatever it is. So not getting caught up in the physical body, releasing that image of the present moment completely, letting that go now. And then visualize yourself in this seated posture, in the reality that you are in right now. And remember that we don't walk into our future. The future moves towards us. Our vibration, our frequency draws in, attracts like for like. So we're not walking anywhere. We're not creating anything. It's already been created. Everything is available. Everything was created at the Big Bang. Everything, every possibility in every moment is already there. So nothing can be created. There is only choice. Which reality are we choosing? So as we sit here and we notice that in this reality, whatever is there is moving towards us. And we can, in our visualization, look left and right and see lots of different people in different timelines. So they're experiencing life in a totally different way. And we were talking before we pressed the record button about art. And this is a great example of how each one of our realities is different. Some people will see something and call it art, whilst others will call it ridiculous, or others still ugly. So a great example of these different realities, side by side, seeing the same painting or the same sculpture, and each one of us having a different reaction dependent on our filters, depending on our perception. So I have this visualization of multiple timelines, and we're all different people sitting in the same posture in our little lane, our little conveyor belt that is moving towards us. And for each one of us, a painting is moving towards us on a conveyor belt. And each one of these realities sees it in a different way, has a different feeling, has a different reaction, has a different emotion. And then the next image comes along the conveyor belt for everyone. And it could be about what's going on in the world at the moment. And again, each person, each part of the whole has a slightly different reaction, a slightly different belief based upon its perception. Each wave in the ocean of everything has a slightly different reaction. Yet each one of those waves is connected to oneness. And then the visualization changes. And as you look left and right into these infinite timelines and realities running parallel to each other, you realize that each one is you. Each one is a different choice. So as life appears on the conveyor belt, as a situation appears and is drawn towards you, that situation is different dependent on the vibration of that reality. So notice, so if there's something going on for you at the moment in your life, see that coming towards you and notice which reality you're in at the moment. What is your held belief right now? How is that situation appearing to you? And then as you look left to right, you can see that each timeline is slightly different, ranging from a positive outcome to a negative outcome. Notice where you are in between the two. And in your visualization, stand up and realize that you can walk and step into whatever reality, whichever timeline you want to. You just stand up and walk there. Make the choice. I'm choosing something different today. Maybe you have to walk quite far from where you are now to where you wish to be, knowing that it's all available. There are no boundaries. It is only your filters that stop you. So make your choice, make your way over to that reality, and then sit down there and enjoy the show as the conveyor belt brings to you that vibration, that frequency of love, of joy, of laughter, of fun, of openness, expansiveness, of gentleness, of acceptance, awareness. And have this real sense of belonging here. You would not be hearing this if it wasn't possible for you. Settling into your new reality, into your new timeline. It may feel very subtle, or it may be a giant leap. Settling in and getting to know this new frequency. You are worthy, otherwise you wouldn't be hearing this. And looking at the resistance that comes up when hearing those words. Or noticing that there's no resistance, that you truly, fully believe that that reality is yours. We are all one. And if you do not feel worthy, then you are actually saying that none of us are worthy. That unworthiness is a mere story that society has given you, your family has given you. And it's time to let those stories go. They are gone in that old reality that you have stepped from. They simply do not exist in this reality that you have stepped into. This is it. Now is the time. There is no more waiting needed. What have you placed in your life to prevent you from being your fullest expression? And perhaps do this meditation as a recording again as things in your life appear, realizing that there is always choice, bringing them into this visualization, to this conveyor belt, always knowing that at any point you can jump realities, step into a parallel universe, because they are running concurrently, continuously, and we can see this in our lives with what's going on in the world at the moment. With art, it's a great example. And with your own life. And bring your hands together in a prayer position, or bring one hand to the high heart, left on top of right if you're doing that, whatever resonates most, and honor this amazing, beautiful journey that we're on. Thank you for joining me.